All right, and we are live. Welcome to Jen's awesome show. I'm here with Uplift community member Edward, and we're going to find out who Edward is today because I don't know either. So let's get started. Um, you are part of the Uplift community. How did you hear about the Uplift?
Wow, it's hard to think it. I think it was just a month or so ago, but it feels like forever. I was in a Telegram group and somebody mentioned a land sale, and I think it was David Elvion. I think a lot of people are familiar with him. He seems to be everywhere at all times, but he had mentioned something, and so I jumped in the Uplift Telegram, and at the time they were doing the chicken caw gratitude sale. So um, I wasn't familiar with anything Uplift at all. Just hearing about it, trying to figure things out, and they had them up for sale. And then this is the time when the NFTs were mislabeled as land. So I had, I was new, so I wasn't sure, and I was reading it, and it was really, inexpensive at that time. So I was, not sure. But I went ahead and made a couple of purchases of those anyway. It ended up turning out that those, were not meant to be land. They were, the gratitude items that help um, fill the reward system. So it ended up being that, it was a mistake. And so it was kind of crazy in that sense that, my first experience was, this mistake that happened, but Corey ended up um, taking care of the issue and ended up, providing a workaround for that for the people who had been in on the mistake. And to me, that just spoke, huge volumes to me about the community and, about Corey and what he was trying to do and, honoring something that was, started out as a mistake, but, making it right. And Corey's always talking about a win-win situation. And, I've seen it firsthand with, this incident in my kind of introduction to the uplift. And, from that point on, I was pretty much sold on uplift and what they were doing and, just figuring out more about the community and how to get involved.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that that worked out. I didn't even know that they were mislabeled at first. That's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm glad Corey was able to sort it out. He seems to be pretty good with that.
Yeah. And, it was funny because when I was in there and David, he was saying like, people, telling people, don't worry about it. They'll fix it. They'll take care of things. And, when you first join any kind of project or Telegram group, you're kind of skeptical about things. But, um, I saw firsthand um, how for the uplift, that was true where, they care about their community. They care about, doing things right, taking care of people. And, I've just continually seen that firsthand with a lot of different, things that have happened. I mean, I could talk about that for a while because there's been a lot of things where, they've given a lot of benefits for people um, that I've been pretty impressed with, to be honest. So,
Good to hear. So what has the uplift become to you?
um, that's a big question. I mean, there's so many different aspects to the uplift. First of all, of course, it's a community, but it's a community not like any of the others, I would say. There's a lot of people, I mean, amazing people that are part of the group um, who, work on the project, but are also just everyday regular people that, you get to interact with in the Telegram group. Spending time there, people tend to be, more like family than just some stranger in some random Telegram group. Um, it's also a lot of opportunity to build something, to contribute, to be a part of something that's still in its infancy stages. We're only in alpha, but um, the potential is there for things to just blow up big and quick, and to make a difference in our community, our wax community, and even expanding outside of that, to different projects. I mean, like the Haiti school building, that's not contained within wax. It's not contained within Uplift. Um, you know, there's a lot of potential to make impacts for people who don't even know about the Uplift. But for me, it's a fun place to be. I've met a lot of great people. It's like a melting pot of people from all over the world. I met somebody from Holland who actually have family there, which was kind of cool to get to talk to somebody from there. Kawimoto, he's in Indonesia. My dad was actually born in Indonesia. There's another guy, Mahea. He's from the UK. I just met him in game in Minecraft, and got to know him a little. And he was offering for me to come and visit him in the UK and stay there. And it's just crazy how this project can bring people together from so many different places in the world and places in life, and just do something positive and help to influence people and encourage people, and like the word says, to uplift people.
Absolutely. It's interesting. I haven't had anyone directly mention the international community before, but you're very right about that. There are people from everywhere, and that says a lot right there.
Yeah, and I see a lot of the other projects, they'll have a lot of international players. And I think about, for those people, just the opportunity that this presents for them. There's a lot of people in places that aren't as fortunate, as most of us in the United States. And just for them, the opportunity to possibly, make some sort of living, make some sort of financial benefit that could help them and their family. And I know firsthand that there's people that are trying to leverage these projects to help them do that, and to be a part of that, and to be able to help people out however I can. To me, it's just really rewarding in and of itself. If I can help somebody who maybe somewhere else that may not be as fortunate, in just any way, whether that's helping them in game, gifting them an NFT or something, just helping them to get adjusted and accommodated. To me, it's a great opportunity for a lot of those things.
Definitely. So how did you end up hearing about Trippletopia?
I'm not sure how I originally heard about it, but I've heard a ton about it ever since. So I've seen a lot of the Shipple memes. Of course, that was kind of my introductory level to Shipple itself. I've got to hear about it with, Corey, used to be involved with Shipple, and I mean, he still is, but that project is taking off in ways that we haven't even seen yet. So I got to see the preview that we did with Shippletopia, and that place just it looked amazing. And I know they said it looks like Ready Player One, but they weren't kidding. It was pretty impressive just from the previews that we saw, and just knowing the teams that are involved, Martian, Martin, and Corey, they're both heavily involved in the Shipple, and knowing that they do things, they do it well, and then some. Like, it's not going to be this low level, low luster kind of deal. They're gonna make it big. They're gonna do things that we're not even aware of, and that's something that I definitely want to be a part of. So they recently did the chicken buckets, and we don't know exactly what those are going to be turned into, but I do know that it'll be something worthwhile that I've been trying to tell people about and get them on board. And, I don't want people to miss out, but we'll see what happens with that. So.
That's going to be a lot of fun too, I think. I don't have a lot of details to share, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be more interesting, I think, and more community oriented than everyone is expecting, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much potential for so much of this with Uplift, and I know that there's great minds that are in the background thinking about how to integrate things and how to make things better and how to gamify things and how to reward people. And I mean, just being in there and being involved is just a great opportunity to, be a part of that and see what people are doing and, kind of like a guessing game even to an extent, like, well, what's going to happen next? And, how can I get in on this and be a part of it? So it's pretty fun.
It definitely is. What do you think is going to be the best part or the most known part of Shipletopia?
That's a tough question because so much of it's not known, but I do know they have some sort of racing. That would probably be, at least initially, one of the huge things. I think some of these other things that they're doing, like the chicken blender stuff, Shipple meme things, that there's a lot that will be coming out in the future. I'm not sure what the timeline is on that, but I know that once they start doing things, people are going to take notice and want to be a part of it. So
I think so too. So you do know a little bit about Shipple. Started as a currency a few years ago, and it kind of dropped off the radar for a while, and then we saw a resurgence with some Shipple memes all of a sudden. Do you foresee any kind of a use case for the Shipple currency in somewhere, somehow, in Chicken Caw in the future?
I mean, like I said, possibilities are endless. So I know there's been a lot of talk about rewarding people with, projects currency. I could see where, they could do things like that. I could see where, maybe they take Shipple as a payment system, some sort of payment. I know Shipple memes have been around for a little while, and I stocked up on those to make sure that I was, leveraging myself to be in position in case they decide to do something with that, because I feel like, the resurrection in a sense of the Shipple, um, overall is going to be huge. So, I want to make sure that I'm a part of that when that happens. But yeah, I could definitely see Shipple being used for a number of different things. You could maybe use it as price of admission to certain things. It's going to be cool to see what they do with a lot of this stuff. Like I said, there's just so many different possibilities.
Yeah, I'm curious too. There are lots of ideas out there, but it's all in the ideas stage at the moment. So
yeah, and I like thinking about those kind of things, and just like, how can you make it better? How can you, what can you do with these kind of things? Just,
yeah,
I mean, your imagination is basically your only limitation, and there's so many things that haven't even been invented or figured out or gamified or integrated into the projects that it's just waiting for somebody to have a good idea and to do something with it. um, I think that's what's cool about the Uplift community as well, is I feel like we have, as the user base, we have a voice in the system. And if somebody comes up with a great idea, it's not too difficult to get that aired out. And I know we have a running list of items that you can add your ideas to. So it's really cool being, part of a project that you feel close to, and you feel like you have the opportunity to provide some level of influence into, what's going to happen or what could happen, and make things better for people.
definitely. I'm glad to hear that. That was definitely one of the goals as well. If we're talking about Telegram and community. You have a Telegram channel, Wax in the Know. I've only just discovered it. Why did you start the channel?
Well, like being a part of the community, you see a lot of questions. You see a lot of people who, may not be familiar with things, and it's a hard learning curve in the beginning. I'll have to, say just getting in there, getting accommodated, understanding things, knowing what to do. For my personal experience, just playing around with different games, somebody had mentioned the game Upland, and so one time I went in there, I tried, I joined the game, looked around, and I couldn't figure anything out about what to do with it, how it worked. I felt like the barrier to entry there was really significant. That you had to, buy lands, but I couldn't buy lands unless I had a certain amount of money, and I had to go back in and renew my passport, or else I'd lose everything I had if I didn't get to a certain level. And personally, I found that very, very big turnoff, because I just felt lost. And, I had my little cursor moving around the map, and I'm like, where's it going? Which way do I go? What does this do? What am I just didn't know what I was doing to begin with. And so I decided, that game wasn't for me. And I understand there's a lot of people who play it who may love it. I noticed there's a lot of whale accounts in there, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm ever going to amount to anything like that anytime soon. So, I decided to try to help others out, especially with the onboarding process, and just create a channel where, I try to put all my collected information from things that I've learned, things that as I understand them, things that, are mentioned in the Telegram channel, things that Corey says. I try to watch most all the videos that are put out there by the team, just to gather all that information and try to have it somewhere that's fairly clear, fairly concise, and just use it as a news channel, not as a chat room. So, I disabled chat because I'm not interested in joining another chat channel that, most everybody else is probably in already. That I don't want to have to spend time to dedicate to monitor and talk to people and things. I just want to, try to provide information as I find it. And mostly it's going to be Uplift information and details, because that's the closest project I'm a part of. Some of it's also going to have maybe some Our Planet stuff as I find that out. That might not be as updated because Our Planet flies quickly, especially with inventions. And once you find out about an invention, it's pretty much already done and gone anyways. But also, like release information. So I know finding information out about what releases are coming is kind of challenging to have in one place. And a lot of times I miss releases because I didn't even know about them. So just trying to put collectively all this information in one place. Telegram kind of makes it difficult to sort and organize it, make it better. And I'm sure Discord would probably be better for that, but I feel like a lot of the Wax community is on Telegram. So it may be a consideration, but just basically trying to help other people in their journey. Because I know, when I join a project and I'm brand new and I don't know anything, and I'm trying to figure things out, anybody that helps me is going to be, a great help to me. I'm going to be very thankful and grateful for it. So, I remember those interactions with people that I've had, like in game. I think Sue LFG was probably one of the first people I actually ran into the game, and I thought, oh, that's cool. Not like she's a celebrity, but it was kind of like, just, there's a name I've seen and I'm familiar with, and just, trying to help other people, because in the end, we want to add people, we want to grow our community. And I think if we can prevent some of those low level, low hanging fruits of discouragement and, maybe not having that information, and if I can help bridge that gap, to get people on boarded, to get them involved, to get them understanding what's going on. I think that'll, be helpful, because I know, for me in the beginning, if I had quit with the Uplift, I wouldn't be where I am with the Uplift in general. I feel like um, it's a great project, and I'm glad to be a part of it and proud to be a part of it. If I hadn't had certain help and certain details in the beginning, I might have been discouraged continuing that journey. But um, I believe in it so much that I want, other people to be able to join us in the journey, and for information and knowledge and stuff not to be a barrier, and to help also with the Uplift team, because I know the team gets hammered with questions in Telegram. Um, I try to go in there and help and answer as much as I can. I'll be honest, I'm not always 100% right, but I try to find those answers. And if this news group of sorts can help answer those questions, then that to me is a great tool that I feel is worthy of putting together and trying to maintain, and trying to make sure people are aware of it, and being able to
Definitely.
make an impact in the community.
Absolutely. And that's useful because we don't have anything really quite like that. And it is a process for anybody to get on board. I mean, we've got people who don't know anything about crypto. We have people who've never played Minecraft. We have people who are completely new to everything. And where do you even start? So it's definitely helpful. I put the link for the Telegram group in the comments. So if anybody wants to take a look or share it widely, go right ahead. Do you know of anyone else out there who is doing what you do with similar sorts of giving information on projects or drops?
I'm not 100% sure if there's anything out there like that. I mean, I've looked, I haven't seen anything. I know most projects are promoting themselves, so
Yeah, usually.
they'll have their own, informational tidbit page or whatever, and they'll, post it in the Telegram. Um, to me, I'm kind of agnostic from all that. I do favor Uplift just because I'm so involved with a lot of the things. But as far as drops go and stuff, I've seen some of the wax, there's a wax page I've seen with a calendar, but I don't know if that's a regular thing. But for me, I wanted to make it my own, and try to provide it to the groups that, I mean, a lot of people even miss that information. So for me to get that information to the people that I'm dealing with, working on a daily basis with, interacting with, is my goal, at least.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that's your goal. It's useful. Um, in terms of thinking forward, let's say we're out of alpha, we're out of beta, wide open to the world. What is your end goal with the Uplift? Or do you have one?
I mean, I've got a lot of different ideas for what, I want to do, and what I want to be in the Uplift. I like to strategize about things, and think and analyze, and figure out, how can I, you know, like with the chicken call auction, it's like, where do I go, and which ones do I pick, and where should I be, and is this going to work out, and will people be coming through this way, or will they be going that way, and and then there's the whole auction aspect of it. There's just this challenge in a sense of figuring things out. So for me, um, you know for now, I just want to be somebody who's helpful in the Uplift, who can help people out. So I had a funny journey with Alien World's Ted, getting him to his land plot in London. He was totally new, didn't know anything about Minecraft, and it took us it took us like an hour or so to get him from spawn point to his spot, to make a bed to sleep in it, so when he died he didn't go back to the spawn. um, but it's just a small aspect of being able to help people So for me, I want to be, known as somebody or looked at somebody who is, providing value to the uplift, who, um, you know, can help out people from time to time, whatever it is they may need, whether that's, you know, giving them a tour, guiding them to their spot, telling them about what's going on. But, I also, like everybody else, want to make my lands and my plots appealing, for people to come and visit, to try to, figure out some way to get people involved in doing that, coming to your land, because I know it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of people out there doing a lot of different things who will probably have, better things to visit, better ways to do it. Just trying to figure out, how you can get people, to join the uplift and to come and visit your area, and um, how you can also help those people out though too. It's not all about um, the receiving, but also the giving. So, how can I, benefit those people in the uplift and what I'm doing? Um, I know the uplift is big on generosity and giving back and helping out others, and I do different things from time to time to be involved with that. So, um, I just want to be a part of the bigger community that's doing, big things in the wax community, that, is drawing attention to this project that's founded on gratitudes and, thankfulness and helpfulness, and, building a better metaverse, in a sense, that may not exist in the real world, but, in our metaverse, we may have a lot of these things we always dream about in our real world, just the thankfulness, the helpfulness, the fun, uh, the community. A lot of us with COVID have probably lost a lot of that community aspect because we're so isolated and we're stuck at home. I feel like the uplift for me has been a big fill in for that during these times. And going forward, what does our communities look like? I mean, I think the metaverse is a real thing and a real possibility that people find that community, and that, in that kind of a project, um, because we don't know, where people are and where they're coming from and what their life's like. And, they turn on Minecraft, they come in the uplift, they join the game, that allows them to escape that reality that may not be so pleasant, and hopefully be surrounded by people who are uplifting and encouraging and, helping each other out. Just seeing that, hopefully that will, trigger something in them to do that and turn around and make something better for somebody else.
I really like that outlook. That is great. Um, if you could work with any community project in the Outlook, or in the Uplift rather, wow, what would it be and why?
Um, I mean, things are so new that we don't even know like what's all going to be in there. There's so many communities that aren't even, in the uplift yet, that, hopefully will be here soon. Um, but, there's people doing things that I'm not even aware of. I see these videos and pictures of places. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I haven't even seen that yet, or didn't even know about that. But I would say first off, just thinking about Chipletopia. That's probably one that I know a little bit about. Definitely not as much as I'd like, but I think they're really doing a lot of big things that are under the covers that nobody knows about. And once we see it, people will take notice and be surprised. And I think, there's a good group of people working on the project that I believe in, and I've seen a lot come from, um, that I think will do great things. And I think, everybody's heart and intentions are in the right place, and I think that'll be shown through, what we see once Shipletopia is opened. And yeah, I think people are pretty excited about it. I know a lot of people don't really know about it or have an inclination as to what it is, because, honestly, there's not a lot of information out there, and, that's probably intentional at this point. because I know there's a lot of work going on, but
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a huge thing once it becomes out, more knowledgeable when put out there and marketed.
I would agree. So I guess then to follow that up, if you were given creative license to build or create anything as part of Shipletopia, what would you do and why?
So I was just thinking of this for my own land, but it might work as a Shipletopia thing. And I want to do a retro, arcade kind of area. I grew up in the 80s, so arcades actually were a thing back then, and they were big, and just an ode to some of those games. A lot of people watching may not even be familiar with them because I'm a little older than some of these youngsters, but things like Moon Patrol or Joust or Defender, like these are the games at the time. They were huge. The arcade was a place to go and hang out and play and have fun, and um, they were all pixelated, and there wasn't a lot to them. They were 2D, and yeah, it was at the time was a fun thing to do. And um, you know we've certainly advanced since then in a lot of our gaming and styles and things like that. But for me, those retro games kind of hold a nostalgia for me that um, they're kind of the building blocks of what we have today. um, they paved the way for a lot of the things we have today. And it's funny because ironically a lot of them get remade in different forms, or ideas are taken from those games and implemented in different ways anyway. So
Okay, that's interesting. I wonder, just for my own curiosity, I'm just wondering if we could ever have any kind of functionality for something like that. Like if there were an arcade game built, if we could have, I don't know. The technology I don't think is ready yet, but
yeah, I
you
don't
could
see why
play
not.
it.
I mean, a lot of these games run on emulators. You have these little, back in the day, they had these huge boxes that were so massive and
Yeah,
heavy to play those games, and now it's like you don't even need anything remotely that big. But there's a lot of different things like emulators and stuff that I'm sure could be implemented. It's just a matter of figuring out this technology
yeah,
implementations. But I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
that would be a lot of fun, and that would be surprising too. Nobody would expect that.
Yeah, I mean that'd
Um,
be cool if you had like a virtual Shipletopia token that you put in the game to play, just like in the old days. I mean, that
yes,
could be an idea.
that would be really nifty. Um, if you could meet anybody, you're hanging out in Shipletopia, doing all the cool things you can do there. Who would you like to meet there and why?
Um, Golly, there's a lot of people in our community that I'd like to get to meet. Um, I know a lot of this is just metaverse right now, but I'd also like to get to meet a lot of these people in person. Like Corey and his energy and his electricity is amazing. And the guy's a natural born salesman and pitchman and hype man and all those things in one. And I can't, I'm the opposite, and I'm chill and relax. And he's running a million miles, and I'm in the slow lane. Um, but I love a lot of that about him and just how he is, and he's genuine and authentic, and um, he's always looking to do what's right, um, whatever the cost. He's looking at community. He's looking at how to help people and how to bring benefits you know, to the game and to the users. Um, and to me, it's just, like he's kind of like a beacon of light in the sense that, there's so many projects and so many companies out there that are, looking out for number one. And, um, but I see with him, his firsthand, giving, donations, just over and over everywhere. Like he did a show yesterday, I think it was, and he's given his Aether to to donate to for just different reasons to help others in the end. And so just meeting somebody like Corey, I think is a cool thing. I think he's got a lot to offer, and we've just barely started on this journey. I know he's probably got all these thoughts and plans down the road, as much as he can thinking down the road, because I know he's incredibly busy. But I've caught a glimpse of his vision, just through being part of the project and watching his shows, and seeing the consistent messaging about just all these ideas and things they're trying to do, and how humble he is to learn from these other projects in our space, like Our Planet and Alien Worlds, and seeing how those projects are operating and how they're doing it right, and trying to take and adapt and learn from that and implement that in the Uplift. And to me, I mean, that's amazing, and it's smart, and it's it's the right way to do it, I would say, because I mean, if you're going to be building something, why wouldn't you want to model it after the ones that you see in the space that are doing it right? And we're collaborating with those projects. It's not like we're in our own silo doing our own thing, worrying about us. We're integrating with these other big projects that are known to be successful already, and we're working hand in hand with them to help each other to grow even bigger and better and do even more amazing things. And with the Uplift not even really launching out there, like these other projects are, I mean, we're in a prime position to do a lot of great things, and for the community to really see what the Uplift's about, because I feel like we're still that not fully known entity, but I think we'll know when we hit that, when we see all these people joining in our telegrams and our discords, and being inundated with all these questions and things. I think we'll have our time and the to have that experience here soon.
That's fantastic. I really like how you've pulled out, I hesitate to say the important bits, but it's the important bits. You've pulled out the things that work. You're paying attention. You know what's going on, and that's a very important part of being in the community. And I think a lot of people are missing that skill. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the bottom line of things is there's a value in a dollar sign attached to the wax. And for me personally, if I'm involved in a project, I want to know as much about it as I can, and over time, the more you know, the more comfortable you feel, and the more you invest, right? So, I didn't start out buying a ton of things. I missed out on the initial land sales that were super cheap. I've had to buy most everything I've bought on the secondary market, but being close into the community and having your ear to the ground, and just doing that research. I know everybody throws out, do your own research, and most people probably don't listen to that. But for me, like, I take that to heart, because I'm not only investing money, I'm investing time. I'm investing my future, investing my family's future. Because the money has to come from somewhere. It's not like it's just, funny internet money, as Michael from USA would say. There's for me, there's a lot of commitment to doing these kind of things, and even more so probably from people from other countries who may get involved. To buy a land right now is fairly expensive, but it's only going to be more expensive in the future. And if I buy that land, like, I want to know what that's doing for me. Like,
Yeah.
in Alien Worlds, people didn't really have that understanding. and people bought it and sold it at $800, $1,500, and that thing, I've seen some sell for $25,000, and
Mm-hmm.
these people. I understand people want to make a quick flip or make a profit, and I like to do that as well, but not at the expense of a true investment that has so much future potential. Those people who got out earlier, they're definitely regretting it, but I wonder if that's because they didn't really understand the business model and the concept of the project, where they were going with it, what they were doing, and how those lands would be used later. Um, the best example we have right now is our planet. They didn't have lands before, and they decided, okay, we're going to have lands, and people caught a glimpse of that, and they knew that that was going to be valuable, but I don't feel like people know really just how valuable that will be in the future. And I feel like the same thing is with Uplift. I mean, if you have a land or a rail and it's producing passive income, you're getting Upliftium, which I know everybody always asks a million questions about Upliftium. Just know that, you know, it's going to be pretty similar to Aether, but I think it's going to have even more utility. I think there's going to be a lot more uses, a lot more reasons to want it, a lot more reasons to try to get it. And, if that's the case, and you look at Aether and you see how much it is, and you look at Alcor and see how much, you can buy it or sell it for, just know that Upliftium's going to be on there. And you're going to want to do the same thing, if not more, with that Upliftium, because it's going to have so much utility and so much use and so much need. And the team is, really taking that into consideration, and they're thinking about all those different things and how they can to make it, useful and not just some token that you get just for sitting there, doing nothing. So yeah, so for me, I'm sorry, going back to the point, yeah, I want to make sure that I understand and I know for myself. I'll gather information from other people, but I want to be in there, know for myself what I'm doing, what my investment's doing, and the potential that's there. And if, I want to invest more, even maybe the case.
Okay, well, that's all good. Um, I guess the last thing I kind of wanted to touch on here is Ready Player One. Have you read the book?
I'm not a big book reader, but I
Okay.
actually just watched the movie again the other day. So
Okay. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about the story and how you think it relates or doesn't relate to the uplift, because there's a lot of talk about that and it's kind of used as the reference for explaining the uplift.
yeah, I when I was watching it, I was like, wow, this could totally be the Uplift. And I know that right now we're on a Minecraft system just because that's the ease of use. And I know that there's always potential to migrate from that platform to something else. But I could see, you know, maybe one day having the virtual reality set up and going into the Uplift and going to your lands and doing things like that's not that far-fetched of an idea. um, I think it was really cool just how everything was integrated between the real world and the metaverse, and like you could switch between the two, but um, there's just, it kind of goes back to, I have to say, escaping reality in the real world. The world at that time had come somewhere that wasn't so beautiful and so great to be a part of. And Ready Player One offered an escape from that, and a chance at doing something different and being somewhere different. And um, yeah, to me, it's really a close possibility for the Uplift to be there one day to be able to do those kind of things. I loved the movie. I thought it was great, and especially like, go back to my earlier ode to the old school games that you could see in there. That was pretty cool.
Definitely. Well, I'm starting the book and I'm in just sort of getting started, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. It's got a good start to it, so.
Yeah, I've heard the book's a lot better than the movie, and maybe I'll do the audio book. But Mr. Bullshipples had recommended, but yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see how much more depth there is in the book than the movie, because there's just so much to that movie that it's hard to put into a movie from a book.
I feel like it's probably very visually impressive.
Yeah, like just imagining all the different aspects in the book. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe they might give you some inspiration for some future builds.
Definitely. Yeah, the book already has actually. It fit right in with something I'm already working on, so that'll be interesting to take that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did we miss talking about anything that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, kind of going into the gratitudes. I'm grateful for the community. The wax community, the uplift community. There's so many different people that are involved, and that you get the opportunity to meet if you just take the time or take that chance to get to know people and get to meet them, and find out about them and what's going on. And to me, I like that opportunity, just interacting with people. I mean, it may be a short, hey, how's it going? I was in Chicken Caw yesterday, walking through, and came across somebody's land, and they had a dispenser for like food and an enchantment, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I stopped there for a second, and then the guy who owned the land was there, and said, hey, and talked for a minute in the game, and that was it. But just getting a chance to have these little interactions with people, um, and getting to form these micro friendships even at times, but also getting to know people more, and getting to see just how things are progressing, um, just the trajectory we've been on, just the things that the Uplift are doing, to me are really cool to be a part of. So I'm very thankful to be able to be on this journey together, and try to help where I can, and serve our community the best that we can.
That's fantastic. I'm also grateful for the community, but in a completely different way. I'm surprised by it. I didn't expect there to be a community aspect at all. And maybe that's just my lack of involvement with any other projects, but it surprised me. And what's continuing to surprise me is that for the most part, it's a very, very positive community. And it's absolutely delightful to be involved with so many positive people, even if all I'm doing is, flipping through the Telegram and reading through the things and not even commenting. It's wonderful. It's uplifting.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to look in Telegram and seeing people help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, right? It's like you help somebody, and that may help them to be able to help somebody in the future, right? Like,
Exactly.
and if people are watching this and they're not part of our Telegram, I'd highly recommend it, because there's so much more to the Uplift in the game than just Minecraft, and people sometimes have a hard time seeing through that lens.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're in there and once you're involved, it becomes apparent really fast.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me. This has been wonderful. I've enjoyed getting to know you and learning a little bit more about the community. Jen's
Thanks,
awesome show. Oh, you're welcome. We'll be back Thursday, 8:15 in the evening, my time, Saskatchewan time, 10:15 Eastern. I'm going to be talking with Yuri. And Yuri is also a community member. I really honestly don't know very much about him. We see each other during the gratitude ceremonies on Sunday, and that's the extent of my knowledge. So that should be interesting as well. And on that, we're all done, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks.
Thank you.